I really like the idea of asking them to figure out how do you want to think about these.
I like that too.
Any feedback that I can get, it's always helpful.
To be able to work with teachers to make them the best that they can possibly be.
Frequent unannounced observations followed by targeted feedback are an important evidentiary component to the 5-step evaluation cycle and provide regular opportunities for educators and evaluators to discuss practice.
We do a combination of unannounced observations, typically 15 to 30 minutes in length, where we're able to pop in to a classroom. We combine that with announced observations, which are typically more, they're longer in length. So we do a full class period. So I might go and watch a full hour math lesson, and we do a planning conference ahead of time. So the teachers come prepared with some information about the lesson that they have prepared. So they may want some feedback on their classroom management or their use of time, transitions, that sort of thing. And so we sit down, we talk about the lesson, talk about what they want feedback on.
So I think it's important for every evaluator to develop a system. The way we have it divided up simply, and I like, is that you give positive comments, you ask questions, and then a couple of suggestions. And so I'll label that 1, 2, 3,
He just comes in for 10 or 15 minutes at a time, which doesn't always give a complete picture. So there's an opportunity for us to dialogue about what happened before and after and what I'm planning to do next week to change how, what he saw or to ask him for advice on how I might employ better practices.
Right? What is the difference between those two?
When Nick does a evaluation or a walkthrough, he'll write some feedback, and so that's where I see the observations that he made, the things that he noticed, suggestions he may have, and then I have an opportunity to respond, and I send it back to him, and on that same form, and then he'll get a notification that I responded, and he'll respond back.
Meaningful observations and feedback focus not just on educator practice, but student engagement and learning as well.
Why? Why do you think it's important?
And I like to sit down with the students and ask them, what are you guys doing? What are you learning about? What's the objective? So tell me about how this goes back to the objective. What is this? And that helps give me some feedback and some understanding about the students' understanding. And then I can have a conversation with that staff member to let them know.
Educators benefit from the support, authentic feedback, and new ideas gained from peer observations, even when it's non-evaluative.
Just last week, we got a sub that rotates through the classes, so we're each able to see each other's classrooms. And the goal and objective was just what's one takeaway and what's one question that you have.
We have often said to a teacher who might need a few more tools in his or her toolbox, here are some teachers that would be maybe useful for you to go sit in on. We'll get a sub for you while you go take a block and go check things out. I really enjoy and appreciate the snapshot that it gives me of what somebody is doing for different units and for different classes.
Meaningful observations and feedback can also take place outside of the classroom.
It's not just all observations of lessons, because there's so much more that goes into. So it's parent meetings, it's special education meetings, it's staff meetings or professional development. If a teacher went out on a professional day and received some PD, you can ask, how did it go, and can you reflect on that? So it's been an opportunity for us to give teachers some varied feedback.
That will be interesting. So not only will the group have to decide, but then they'll compare what they did with it.
Yeah, nice.
Yep. When we study school improvement, relational trust is probably the most important factor. And I would say, so in a professional learning community, so how we are with each other, how we talk to each other, how we share ideas with each other, and the kind of trust we have with each other is fundamental to this work.
I have a really trusting relationship with my administrator. And I feel like it is, like the last time he was in there, it was a really great class. And I kind of was disappointed because it's helpful when things go wrong and he can help me.
So you have 3 criteria you just teased out that made a 4.
And most of the time we're either getting constructive feedback or they're complimenting the work that we're doing, which only then makes you feel even more comfortable when they come in, because the next time you're like, oh,